What makes a leader? And I am now reading from the book. How does one define a national leader? In India, before Modi, this question engrossed and puzzled many serious students of politics and society. In the immediate aftermath of 1947, national leaders were identified by their name recall across regions and states because of their participation in the freedom struggle. In the succeeding decades, however, notably at the height of the coalition era, the expression national leader came to be much abused. It was a status generously distributed by the Delhi media to its friends and favorites. The label was handed out even to politicians of no proven merit and only capable of winning a Lok Sabha seat from one or two safe seats. They were very visible in news television studios but unknown in villages merely 25 kilometers away from Parliament House. After Modi and after 2014, such facile and insincere manufacturing of national leaders was shown up for what it was. Narendra Modi is now the template for what it means and what it takes to be a national leader. So that is my first thought from the book. Let me give you a second. The second actually relates to coalitions and the cost which this country has paid for political coalitions. So it is both a governance point I am making and a political point that I am making. And I again quote from Amit Bhai's writings here. For 25 years, between 1989 and 2014, India has been governed by coalitions. Coalitions, by their very nature, are a compromise. They are a compromise of political interests and a compromise of political outcomes. Fatalism has set in among ordinary citizens. They too had to compromise with their aspirations, whether for themselves and their families or for India and its dreams. There was a feeling that policy paralysis, administrative confusion, quarreling ministers, blackmailing allies, corruption, insecurity, vulnerability to terrorism, and weak and indecisive prime ministers who acted more as managers than leaders were built into the coalition system. These had become a permanent curse on Indian democracy. A low-level equilibrium of expectations had set in. India had taught itself not to think big and not to think ambitious. So I flagged that for you as actually a situation which many of us would recall was, in a sense, the state of the country. And then I come to a third quote from Home Minister again. And this refers to Prime Minister Modi's record as Chief Minister in Gujarat. Amit Bhai writes that many of his programs in Gujarat, the bringing up of Narmada's waters from South Gujarat to Saurashtra, for instance, were conceptualized with a long view. Their gestation period ran into more than one electoral cycle because Modi worked for not just the next election, but the Gujarat of the next decade and the next generation. Expectedly, the BJP too became the political vehicle of Gujarat's development and aspirations for the next decade and the next generation. So the 3 points which I have made to you really is of leadership, it is of the long view, it is of the benefits of overcoming a coalition kind rule of the country. And the results of that I sum up in my fourth quote from this chapter. Modi pe bharosa is an abiding principle, whether during an economic churning, a natural disaster, a pandemic, a terrorist attack, or a threat at the border. For hundreds of millions of Indians, Narendra Modi is the family patriarch, the sagacious uncle, the dependable older brother. He is the national statesman, and in him are invested India's hopes and aspirations, and its people's incredible expectations. If any Indian is in trouble anywhere in the world, there is a calming sense that Narendra Modi will stand by me, that his absolute attention is only a tweet away. There is a confidence that Modi will do his utmost and he will stretch every sinew, squeeze every minute and give it his all. He is much more than the Prime Minister. In the popular imagination, he is India's sentinel.
वीडियो पसंद आया तो हमें लाइक, कमेंट, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें।